Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of wild snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down Underhive.
Howdy Hive scum and welcome back. This is the first video in a series that I'm going to do on Necromunda Alliances. Now it's been a long time coming. I haven't really touched on alliances yet and how you can use them in your games, but alliances offer a really fun, flavorful and narrative way to include some noble houses, some criminal organizations, and just some cool miniatures in your games of Necromunda as well. What I'm going to do though in this first video is talk about how they actually work in your games and give you one of these alliances in the first of this series. So please do like, share, subscribe, and check out the Patreon as well to support me further. So firstly, what is an alliance and how does it work in Necromunda? So an alliance is something that you can add to your gang during a campaign in a number of different ways, and they have lots of benefits and lots of downsides as well. So it really does depend on the flavor of your gang and what you want to complement your gang most as well. So it's really worth thinking about which gangs have strong alliances, which give them slightly better terms in their alliance, and also which ones are actually going to suit and complement your gang as well. So step one in making any alliance is that any gang can decide to enter in an alliance either at the start of a campaign or between games, provided they do not already have an ally. Again, this is at your arbitrator's consent, whether you include allies in your campaigns or not. Then it's time to choose one of the many allies on offer, one that you feel fits the flavor and the fluff of your gang and represents well on the table. Step 3, the alliance will last until the end of that campaign phase, depending on how long your campaign phases are, or until that alliance is actually broken. We'll go into that in more detail. Also, while you're in an alliance, you cannot roll on the subplots or house favors tables as well. I'm going to do a separate series on both of those at some point soon too. Unless otherwise noted, a gang cannot have more than one ally at once, of course. And lastly, the gang should note down which ally they have on their gang roster and note which benefits and drawbacks that you are subjected to as well. Testing an alliance. Sometimes the strength of an alliance must be tested. This is usually because of something the gang has done or wants to do, or because the ally wants to exert their will upon the gang and the gang wants to resist. This is known as testing the alliance and applies to the use of some benefits and drawbacks. When an action requires the alliance to be tested, it will be noted on the ally's description. When testing an alliance, the gang must roll a d6 on the table below, adding 1 to the result for each time their alliance has already been tested during this campaign week. On a 1 to 4, the ally is not happy with the gang's actions but continues to hold up their end of the alliance. On a 5 to 6, a warning, the ally issues a warning to the gang who must work to restore their good faith. During the next battle the gang takes part in, it does not gain any of the benefits of the alliance, though must still adhere to its drawbacks. And on a 7+, the alliance is broken and the ally leaves the gang. It's also worth noting that if the alliance is broken, you may not form another alliance until the next campaign phase. So that's the long and short of how allies actually work in your games of Necromunda. It's entirely up to the arbitrator whether you include these. And again, remember that if you do, you can't use subplots or house favors at all. So this is instead of those. So a nice bit of flavor and fluff to add to your games of Necromunda. So in this first video, let's take a look at one of the many allies that you can choose, and we're going to pick one of the ones with actual Forge World miniatures. These are incredible miniatures as well, and this is of course the Corpse Guild. Just quickly, there are 3 sort of types of alliances that you get here, by the way. You've got your criminal organizations. There are 6 of these. There are the merchant guilds, of which the Corpse Guild is one. And of course, there are the noble houses as well. The 6 major noble houses all have their own allies as well. So firstly, with the Corpse Guild, let's take a look at the models, because they are absolutely fantastic and so grimdark, it's ridiculous. Let's talk about the miniatures then. So these are available from Forge World. They are known as the Mercator Palladus corpse harvesting party, and it comes with 6 miniatures. Now, what we have here is the pale consort, which is the sort of female looking figure in the middle with the sort of double eagle headdress and some really, really cool trappings. This is a fantastic miniature. I've got these, by the way. I've painted them up. I don't know whether I've actually taken any photos, so I'll have to do that forthwith. You've also got the little guy, the Bone Scrivener, I believe his name is, who has the sort of banner and the little walking stick. He looks like either a ratling or a squat. He's actually arguably too small for a squat, so he could be a ratling. And we've got 2 corpse grinders pretty much here as well. So these guys are law-abiding, non-chaotic corpse grinders, and 2 little servo skulls here as well. One of the corpse grinders actually dragging a torso, a rotting torso by a meat hook, by the way, and they've both got these giant chain glaives. Really, really awesome looking miniatures, but the cream of the crop there is definitely the Bone Scrivener, who just looks so, so good. The 2 servo sort of skulls, really lovely to have these, and you could proxy them in your games as servo skulls as well. Now, in order to be an ally with the Corpse Guild, you would need to be a law-abiding gang. So you can't be an unlawful or renegade gang in any way. You've got to be a lawful gang to form an alliance with any guild. Their strong alliance is, of course, with House Cawdor, so they have extra benefits with House Cawdor. The first time a gang belonging to House Cawdor is required to test the alliance, do not roll. Instead, count the result as disquiet, so nothing happens there. So this is really nice. It's worth mentioning that strong alliances exist for every single one of these allies, and it means that you don't have to roll the first time to test the alliance, which is nice. Then we have a bunch of special rules before we get into the actual fighter profiles here. The first one is extra corpse starch rations. So when a fighter in the gang must roll on the lasting injuries table, you may re-roll the result, though they must abide by the second result. So that's really nice to have. It's definitely a strong extra there. If your leader is taken out of action and rolls a 66, you get to roll again. High chance you're not going to roll the same 66, so that can be really nice in your campaigns. Then we have the corpse harvesting party in question. They will join your gang at the start of a game if you roll a d6 and add your reputation to it. If the total is 9 or below, the corpse harvesting party deigns to aid their allies on the battlefield. However, if the total is 10 or more, so if you have a d6 plus your rep and it's 10 or more, they will not join you in that battle. So you've got to have lower rep to be able to have these guys turning up. If, however, the gang is playing the looters, smash and grab, or caravan heist, or escort mission scenario, and is the defender, the corpse harvesting party must be included. Roll a d6 and add the current rep. If the total is 9 or below, the gang will aid, and if it's 10 or more, the gang is unhappy and forced to interfere. They must test the alliance if you do that. This group of fighters does not cost you anything because you're already allied with them. However, they must be included in the gang's crew, even if it's random, by the way. So those are some of the benefits. Now to talk about the drawbacks of this particular alliance with the corpse harvesting party. The first one we have is guard duty. During the pre-battle sequence, if the gang has the option of choosing the scenario to be played, roll a d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, the gang must choose looters, smash and grab, caravan heist, or escort mission, and take on the role as the defender. On a 4+, they can choose any scenario as normal. Alternatively, instead of making this roll, the gang can choose to play any scenario, but if they do, they must test the alliance. The other drawback is meat for the grinders. At the start of the post-battle action step of the post-battle sequence, before making any medical escort actions, one randomly determined fighter in the gang who has suffered a critical injury, 61 or 65, is removed from the gang's roster just as if they had died. Alternatively, the gang may choose to take a medical escort and take the fighter to the dock, but if they do, they must test the alliance. So some strong benefits, re-rolling on the injury table and actually getting the corpse harvesting party as part of your crew is pretty nice. However, the drawbacks there are pretty harsh as well. So it is salty and sweet in equal parts with most of these alliances. Now to talk about the actual corpse harvesting party on the table. So we have 4 miniatures and 2 servitors here. We come with the Pale Consort, which is the leader type. We also have the Bone Scrivener, as mentioned before, and 2 corpse grinders here as well. Before we get into the stats though, we've got some special rules. The first one is this one's still moving. During the wrap-up step of the post-battle sequence, roll a d6 for any fighter, friend or enemy that went out of action during the battle and suffered a critical injury. On a 6, change the lasting injury to a memorable death. Their equipment is added to the stash, but that's pretty harsh. We also have a band apart. Members of the Corpse Guild take care of their own, especially valued representatives and their favoured attendants. A corpse harvesting party will remain separate and aloof from the gang they are working beside, disappearing during the post-battle sequence to tend to their wounds. If a corpse grinding party fighter goes out of action during a battle, there is no need to roll on lasting injuries. They are automatically out cold. Also, with these alliances as well, and I think this applies to all of the alliances, they are here to help, so don't actually count towards the crew step of the pre-battle sequence. Instead, these fighters may, and in some cases must, be added to the crew regardless of the crew selection rules as well. This may take your gang starting crew number above what you normally have as well. So these guys are actually extra to your actual crew. First up, we have the Pale Consort. The stats for the Pale Consort aren't amazing. This is the leader type. She is movement 4, weapon skill 5, and ballistic skill 4+ here. Strength and toughness 3. Only 1 wound for a leader, 4+ initiative and 1 attack. So not great on the stats. We have a leadership of 7+, a cool of 8+, willpower 7+, and intelligence 6+ there as well. She comes with a las pistol and a fighting knife, and fearsome and overseer are the skills given here as well. She also comes with the Medi Skull, which is one of the servo skulls in the pack there, a respirator and mesh armor, as well as a group activation of 2, and she counts as the leader in this group as well. We then have the little Bone Scrivener, which is absolutely one of my favourite Necromunda models. Here's movement 4, weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill 4+, strength toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 5 up, and attacks 1, with 7+, 8+, 8+, 7+ on the mental stats there too. And he comes just with a stiletto knife. He also comes with fearsome as well as the gun skull, respirator, and cult icon, which are nice to have too. Just like your ordinary champion, he comes with group activation 1 and the leading by example 6 inches as opposed to the 12 inches of the Pale Consort. Then we have the 2 Corpse Grinders, who are pretty damn good actually. They are movement 4, which is a bit slow, weapon skill 3+ though, ballistic skill 5+, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds however, initiative 4 up, 2 attacks as well, and 8+, 7+, 8+, 8+ on the mental stats there too. They come with a chain glaive, of course, which is a lovely weapon, +2 strength, 2 damage, -2 AP, with versatile 2 inches there as well. One of my favourite weapons. They are great. They also come with crushing blow as well to further rub salt in the wound, and flak armor as well. They also have a special rule called bodyguard here that you'll see quite a lot in alliances. If the Pale Consort is hit by a ranged attack, the controlling player may choose to transfer the hit and all of its effects onto a corpse grinder within 2 inches of the Pale Consort, which is worth doing considering the Pale Consort is fairly fragile and these guys have 2 wounds. They are also indentured fighters, so if the Pale Consort is removed from play for any reason, the Corpse Grinder without guidance will automatically behave as if the crew they are part of has failed a bottle test, and with only a cool of, 7+, it's not great. So those are the rules around the Corpse Guild and the Corpse Harvesting Party and how they operate. They aren't one of the best allies in the game, but they are certainly very fluffy and flavorful, and the miniatures are just absolutely sublime. So they look great, especially with the Cawdor gang, I would say. Now, it's worth mentioning with all of these alliances, these can be used as the sort of building blocks of an outcast gang as well. So you can use the Pale Consort as your leader, you can use the Bone Scrivener as a champion, and you can use the 2 Corpse Grinders as gangers as well as the rest of your outcasts too. You can use any of these alliances. They have a points cost for the sort of backbone of your outcast gangs, and it gives you a real fun, flavorful way of playing Necromunda. And although these guys haven't got great stats, you know, the 2 Corpse Grinders kind of make up for it with their chain glaives and the fact that they've got 2 wounds and they're just a ganger. So even though you've got a subpar leader and champion there, they've got some nice little tricks with fearsome and whatnot, and the 2 gun skulls as well. They're just awesome miniatures. So you could proxy them as something else as well if you like. I do feel, however, that Games Workshop at some point should go back and look at the stats for a lot of these allies because they aren't particularly great. On the flip side of that, though, we're not playing Necromunda for the good choices. We're playing for the fluffy stuff, really, or I am anyway. So I'm perfectly happy with the fact that these guys haven't got amazing stats. They're all quite slow with movement 4. Yes, they could be updated at some point, but I think they are good as is. And it's nice to have a fairly balanced approach to things with the sort of drawbacks and strong points that you get with these alliances. I really do think that the alliances are a great part of Necromunda. And if you haven't used any of these alliances in your games, then seriously do think about it, because even though we've got only half of the models or less for them so far, some of the models are just so incredible when you see them on the table that I highly, highly recommend getting them. So anyway, I hope this has given you some insight into how to use allies in your games of Necromunda, some confidence on how it all works. It's really not that complicated. Some are more complicated than others, and we're going to go through and do these in an order, and I'm going to do a video on every single one of these alliances. So I hope you enjoyed that anyway. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Peace out.